Like, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
All right.
With you.
So,
We're totally with you. Okay.
all right, wait. So hold up.
Easy.
27.
Johnny. I'm stuck on the whole walking through the
80s, so
hallway.
she was like a Molly Ringwald to me. Like, if you know anything about the John Hughes movies.
I won $100 million.
Oh, God.
I disappeared.
I got it. No, I know this. This is why it works. Because there is a way. You think you not. Like,
Easy. Welcome, everybody, to Easy Monday Motivation. It is your guy, the one outside, living so spry, and it is hot and it's making me fry. Coming from sunny Arizona, your homeboy E, checking in with my homeboy CT and Johnny, my liege. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know, we are about to do what we do because we are live. We are live on a Monday, and this Monday is no different from any Monday because we are here to bring you motivation. Today's a very special episode, and I got to check in with the people that make it so beautiful. First, Johnny, my liege, how are you?
I am doing well. I'm excited about today's episode. I can't wait for this conversation. I've been looking forward to it.
Yes, me too. CT, my guy, what's going on? How you doing?
What's up, dog? What's up?
I don't know, man. It's hot.
I know you hot. Don't melt on us. You know what I'm saying? But I'm hoping that this whole episode you're able to make it. And Johnny, I'm so grateful that I can hear your voice on the show and not Ace's voice. And it's just to me, I don't understand why you don't talk about Ace every time we come on the show, because everybody, like all of the easy motivationers, want to know what's the deal with Ace. Like, how is Ace doing? And you leave us hanging every time, and we got to pull it out of you, just like E and his fish, lemon tree that died. Like all of the things, right? Hashtag all the things. Like all of the things we have to make sure that we know. So, like, I want to give my update, but you passed by so fast. Like, what's up with Ace though? For real, what's up?
Well, you know, I didn't even want to mention his name because I can kind of hear him outside of my door right now. So that's one. And Ace has got in serious trouble right before I logged in. Like, he was sitting in his cage with the door open, and he never does that. That means that he got in serious trouble. I went downstairs to check things out, and he was just in his bed, like. So that's what's going on with Ace. He's doing what he do.
No, that's right. Well, for Ace, like Ali does the same thing. This dude, okay, so since we talk about dogs real quick, so this dude, we have one room, is my office, that he is not allowed in. Mm-hmm. And the other day I got home and they were like, Ali did a bad no, daddy. I was like, what'd he do? So Caleb, our middle son, left his food sitting on the table in this room. He's not allowed in. Like, he's got the collar and everything. His collar must have been off and nobody was watching. He came and ate all of this man's like Subway, whatever sandwich he had. It was, he know better too. And then when you see him, he's like, where'd he go? Where did Oliver go? You know where Oliver went. Oliver's in his crate, hidden back in the corner of the crate, like licking his chops like.
CT, how did you know that's exactly what happened in our house? Ace was walking around with a breadstick in his mouth after he ate a plate of spaghetti, as if that's what he was supposed to do.
This is what I'm talking about. That's why this episode is probably one of the most important episodes ever, because the thing that's causing us to let me digress. Let me step back.
I know.
Listen. Let me tell y'all though. Like, so check it out. So we're like 2 weeks from the wedding, right? So, you know, everybody's still on the high, all the things, right? But yesterday was Christian's 26th birthday. So my man got married, then he turned 26, which means he's no longer on his parents' health care. You know, all of that stuff is happening in their life. They're real-time adulting. And so they got us together yesterday. The Scotts and the Thompsons, there's like 15 of us at the bowling alley. It was a fantastic time. And it just goes to show that when you like have two amazing people like Christian and Krista and the families come together, we can do things together. It was absolute.
That's fun.
I had to shout out the two families in our bowling skills. My first game was not bad. What happened?
Who won?
You know, we keep score. You know, just because the game keeps score, but it's not that anybody would keep score for winning or losing. It's how you
I'll
play.
just ask Mel. I'll message Mel while y'all talk. E, as you give your update, I'm gonna message Mel real quick.
Hey, you see my face.
Wait, okay, fine. So I'm gonna tell him myself because she might end up on the comments and then I'm gonna be on blast.
Yeah.
So the first game, if we're just talking about Melanie and I did have the higher score in the first game. The second game, Melanie had the higher score, and that would be a first in her career and life in the 26 years we've been together. So it's a milestone. Hey, Bank, how you doing?
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Hey, honey, it's good to see you. Easy motivation. So it was a good family time together. So hey,
let that go. We're gonna let that go, E. E, fill us in on what's going on with you, because CT, he ain't.
He put his foot in his mouth. That's what you get. Well, it's that time of the year. It's graduation time. So I'm in Phoenix, Arizona to celebrate my son's graduation. He's graduated from Washington High School in lovely Glendale, Phoenix area, Arizona. So I have booked us an Airbnb. We got a nice heated pool patio out here. About to get to the ping pong. I'm about to grill for the family. We're just gonna hang out. We're gonna have a lot of fun and celebrate my son's, graduation tomorrow. Him and his girlfriend, because they're both here. They both graduate this year, so it's gonna be really fun. Yeah, and then like I said, my whole family's here, so I'm gonna take some pictures with them. We're gonna turn up. We got karaoke, we got ping pong, we got Jenga, we got giant Connect 4. I'm definitely about to put on my swimming trunks. I'm about to have Sprite with no ice. We're about to do it all.
That's right.
So I'm really excited.
Graduation
tomorrow. Yeah,
tomorrow. Okay, I was just asking because a friend of mine is in one of the Carolinas, and it was like today at 8 a.m. So I noticed that the time that you're going, I'm like, when is this graduation? What is going on with these? Usually it's not. It wasn't like this back in my day.
Listen, I'm all right. Just so we can kick off the subject of this conversation today, like just E's update, right? Will lead us into it, and CT, I'll pass it over to you. Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Mel. There's a lot of stress that goes into raising your kids, right? And we all know that, right? And when you get to this point, when your kid is about to graduate, there's a lot of things you have already done that you're hoping has set your kid up for success. And it is so stressful, right? To just kind of sit back as the parent and watch the kid have to do stuff. And I've been watching my son for the last 2.5, 3 years have to do a lot of self-management. And it was so stressful, but now I'm here with him. It's cool. I mean, I can just really chill and not really deal with it. I mean, driving, like I don't even got to worry about it. He knows where to go. He knows what to do. Everybody's just chilling. It feels really good to see my son work hard and get the payout. So I'm a super proud dad that's just gonna be like at some point muting this so I could turn around and yell at everybody in the house like, y'all better shut up. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, because they're already.
I love it. That's the beauty of it. They
think they slick. They like right in here. So what they do is they shut the window, but they go play, and I can hear them, but y'all probably can't. So
no, we can hear. We can hear.
You do?
Yeah, we can hear. That's okay. Yeah. That's the blessing and the beauty of alive, right? Yeah. So it's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. Okay. But yes. But I know that there are a lot of things that kind of tax on us as individuals, right? And today's subject, and I'm always excited to talk about things that allow for us to really just dive in the areas that most people try to skim over. I think today's conversation is going to be something that not only will be helpful, but it may open some doors for people to understand that this is a subject that they can talk about other people or talk to other people with as well, whether it be a professional, whether it's just having a conversation with somebody you truly care for. Like, mental health is something that we really, really have grown into a cultural understanding of in the last, I would say, 10, 15 years. And today's subject is one that is very vital to that. narrative to continue to grow. So I'm going to kick it over to my man CT, who's going to introduce today's subject. And we also have a special guest that CT is going to be introducing too, who is a actual expert at this subject. That it's great that we actually bringing experts on now, right? Instead of listening to your AOC say your mental health table flip, throw it all away. Who cares? Don't listen to me. But I'm gonna pass it over to CT.
Don't listen to him, y'all. Don't listen.
Thanks. See, there's multiple versions of mental health, and some are healthier than others.
There you go. That's a good way to put it, CT. Thank you. Thank you.
So, I appreciate the intro and the context around our current societal conversation around mental health. And the idea is that it is Mental Health Awareness Month. And so hopefully throughout this month on your different socials, in your offices, and the places that you happen to reside, you have heard people talking about the value and the importance of having your mental right. Now, the Mayo Clinic defines mental health in this way. According to Mayo Clinic, mental health is important because it affects how you think, how you feel, how you act, and how you handle everyday stressors. Mental health disorders can affect your ability to function, including your relationships, social settings, at work, at school, all the different activities where you're around people or not. And if left untreated, mental illness can cause serious problems, conflict in your family, difficulties in your marriage, social isolation, legal and or financial problems. You could end up homeless or in poverty, or even at this worst case, you could end up with self-harm. I think the importance of our dialogue and conversation today, while we're not going to be able to cover every single aspect of mental health, what I am excited about is that when we get together, we provide our perspectives, our opinions, but through the lens of motivation. And so today, if you happen to not be in the best headspace, our hope is that our conversation with you will make you laugh a little bit. Maybe some of y'all might cry because there'll be some stories that we share that bring you into deeper connection, so that when you are thinking about and feeling a certain kind of way, you know you're not alone. And that's the narrative that comes with the Easy Monday Motivation Pod. But we're not going to just leave you with our voices today. We have on this pod, like I was really trying to figure out how I was going to do my best Steve Harvey. She hails from Columbus, Ohio. She has a master's degree. She spent 13 years in experience with child welfare and in the social services field. She's an advocate for children and for families in the underserved community. Throughout her work in Franklin County Services back in the day when she was young, she's not a kid anymore. She does have 3 kids, by the way. And the thing that is most exciting about this particular guest is that when you think about her headset, she is not just bright and smart, she's brilliant. And I'm excited that this guest is going to share her perspective, her ideas, and her new book. With us on this pod today, Easy Motivationers, EEM team. Welcome to the room, Adia Holmes.
Hey, that was great. You did a good job.
Didn't he do good? That was a good intro.
That was awesome. I'm so excited to be here with you guys.
Of all the people we gonna let down, I wasn't gonna let down Adia Holmes. That's my girl. That's my girl. So
thank you for being on, Miss Adia.
You're so
for our podcast listeners, those that don't know, that's my cousin. She my cousin. We family. We family. And she accepts me. She accepts me. Like some of y'all might be like, but she accepts me. So so Adia, thank you for coming on.
Yes.
Introduce yourself a little bit and let the people know who you are, etc. A little bit past the intro. Talk to us.
Sure. Oh, look at Mel's comment. Y'all see Mel's comment?
I love it. Yeah. Oh, shoot. See, don't be starting. Listen, I'm a guest out here. I ain't trying. I don't know problems.
Right.
So, yes, my name's Adia. And I do have, I think at this point, it might be like 16 plus years before I decided to move into a different entrepreneurial space that, Lord, y'all pray for me because I'm learning along the way. But Yeah. Mental health is my thing. I shouldn't say mental health is my thing. I should say all things relationships and, so I went to Hampton. I have a bachelor's in psychology and I have a master's in counseling. Let me clarify real quick. When you talk about experts, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I am not, but I do have tons of experience in the field. So just, full disclosure. But I'm newly an author. So yes, let's talk about it real quick. I know we want to talk about mental health, but I also want to talk about my book. So can I do that real quick?
Do it. Go for it. Yes.
Go for it.
So listen, guys. So I wrote a book. Long and short of it, I left my job to pursue passion projects. And one of the first projects is a book that I wrote called Why Don't You See What I See? Breaking the Cycle of Systemic Racism. And at its core, it's really about getting to the root of why the system of racism is impacts us the way that it does. I don't want to give too much away, but it's a fantastic book. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's a good book if I do say so myself. You can get the book on Amazon. The link, if you check out pivotprojects.info, www.pivotprojects.info. There is the link there. I also have a workshop that's connected to it, which is also fantastic. I highly encourage you to check that information out under the workshops tab on the website as well. I'm just excited about the things to come with it, but it's a great book. It's something that, so many of us, we'd be like, well, I'm not racist. Well, but the thing about it is we live in a system where it's all around us. So whether you realize it or not, you're impacted or you're impacting. I hope not, but we don't know what we don't know. And so get the book. It's great.
Yes. That's exciting.
I appreciate you starting us there, because you had to make some decisions about your life that went from one career to leaving. Like your headset you had to be in a crazy place.
Yes.
Talk to us about how you pivoted your head from leaving your career into this space where you're now an entrepreneur and you're writing books and doing workshops, because your mental had to be in order. So how did you decide that? How did you choose it? How did you take that path?
So let me first start by saying it's scary as heck. I don't know what I can and can't say on here. So it's scary. It was scary. It is scary. And I think so I process, and we'll probably touch on this shortly when you ask some other things, but I process out loud. I journal a lot. So I did a lot of talking through the thoughts, right? Like, because here's the thing. I knew this was something I was supposed to do, but there is such a long distance between an idea of a thing and an obedience of a thing to doing it. And so for me, that was the hardest part. It was, I would, every step of the way, I would talk to my husband or I have a really awesome village of friends, but talking through the whole thing, because I think we think people get sick of hearing us, but people who support you really don't, and they do and we need each other. So I did a lot of that just to get to submitting a resignation, because I don't know if y'all understand, like, you can't get that back. Like, once that, like, so I'm about to tell you to quit cutting this check. That's what I'm gonna do. It's hard and it's scary. And I think even after you get out here, it's scary. But it's for me, it's being able to write down, like, why am I doing this, and staying true to the mission. Because the voices in your head, let's just be honest about it. I think it's one thing, everybody puts on social media, which I have a very interesting relationship with, but people post all the things of the destination, the fake destination, right? Like how it came to be after the fact, but nobody is really readily talking about, like, it's hard. And you don't know. And even when you take a step, you don't know the next step. And like, so everybody wants you to see that they've arrived, so to speak, but nobody wants to talk. And I want to talk about the process. So,
oh my gosh, I love that.
In everything I do, that's where I'm at.
I'm a person who, which we've talked about on this podcast before, I'm a talker too. So when I process things, it is generally out loud. But what you just shared, I think is really important too, because whether you're taking that step to starting your own business, whether it's starting a new job, like literally today, as I was kind of prepping for this and getting my mind around our conversation today around mental health, I started a newer role back in October. And it's just now really ramping up. But do you know the vulnerability I feel in this space right now, doing something new, where I come from a space where I'm like the expert and I can kind of do it without thinking too much about it. And now I have to ask the simplest questions.
Yes.
And I have to reach out to people for help. And I have to actually say in a Zoom call full of people and say, I don't know, but I will get back. Like that is such a vulnerable space to be in.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was really interesting. Like, and shout out to you for going out and doing the thing, but also too for those of us who have maybe not starting a business on their own, just starting something new or doing something different outside of your comfort zone. How did you put it? It's that space in between actually like an idea and executing it and actually doing it. That could be a really hard, tough space that could weigh on you mentally. And if you don't have a way to process it.
And just real quick to your point, like we don't normalize enough the vulnerable space. Like we say it, like we conceptually we get it. It's not normal, right? Like we don't glorify or make it acceptable. Maybe that's a better way to say it. My husband says all the time, and I don't think he made this up, but I'm gonna give him the credit because that's where I heard it. But like you should never be the smartest person in the room. Yes. But I think we want to be, right? Like we feel most comfortable when we have the answers. But what is that really saying?
Yes, I know. It's so
wrong
hard
with that, right? So I don't know.
And I say that all the time too. Like you shouldn't be the smartest one in the room. And actually it benefits you and the whole team. But then when I'm not the smartest one in the room, I'm like, man, I sound stupid on this call today.
Yeah. We should be able to be receiving and pouring into, like it should go together.
I love that. That's good.
I know.
So it's funny that you say that because I had an experience. I had an experience today where I had to have a conversation with my niece, and she's 9, and for some reason she really struggled with being able to understand that she is not the smartest person in the group. Like you don't know more than the adults in the scenario, and like even like so it was so crazy to me. Like my kids, my 18-year-old, my 23-year-old, they're like, heck yeah, not harder than me. They ain't got no problem with that. My niece, all the rest of them, they ain't got no problem with that. But my youngest niece, she can't even say it. She can't even wrap that concept around her head. And I know that will be some of the uphill battle that she will have in her life, because thinking that you know more than everybody does not allow for this space for you to learn anything from anybody. So you guys are spot on.
Yeah,
that's so true.
So I wanted to ask a question.
Okay.
Why mental health? Like all of the things you could have done, all of the subjects in school that you studied. I mean, you probably like Legos and Play-Doh. Oh no, that's a fun question. I always ask that. Were you a Lego or Play-Doh person?
I was Play-Doh.
Okay. There's a big difference. Like if you do like the research between Legos and Play-Doh, you can see there's like a difference between people who's like, I like the construct thing versus the free form, I mode myself type stuff.
That's interesting.
No, I just want to go back to that question.
But go ahead.
I mean, we can jump into the Play-Doh Lego conversation, but I just kind of want to know, like, why did you choose mental health? Why did this become the thing that you were so like dead set on doing with your life? Why was it so important?
So psychology was the major. And it's just interesting how I just feel like it's just who God made me to be. It's in there. Like, and it was even then, like, and it's still here at my, not quite young age, but not quite big age. It's still there. Like for me, it's always about trying to, in everything. My family hates it. They'd be like, oh gosh, shut up, mom. Like everything doesn't go back to childhood. Except that it probably does.
That part.
So,
that part. Come on.
Except that it probably does, right? Like, and that's it for me. I wanted it. There's an answer for everything. And our start is in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not childhood? Like,
I know.
Is it not? So, and so there are answers there. There are so that's it for me. It's still it for me. I can talk about it all day long. And it's for me the thing that makes and I might be jumping the gun, but I'll say this piece. It's for me what makes this mental health almost fad that we're living in. I think you said it, like for the better part of the last 10 to 15 years, we're living in a space where mental health is it's the word, like we all understand it. But the way I think about it is, well, now we understand it generally in the context of a crisis, right?
Yeah.
Why is that? Because all that other time that we was ignoring it or saying that mental health was you crazy, we aren't mental health is just as much a component of who we are as humans as our physical health.
Yeah, it is.
Talk about
it. Mental health, as our
our emotional,
like our and
everything.
So because we didn't deal with it back then, outside of saying, "Oh, you're crazy," like that means you're like. Now, like I feel like our society, our culture has this pendulum swing. Like we can never get right in the middle. We're always far over here or far over here. So now I feel like we're far over here. It's hyper. It's hyper paid attention to. That ain't right. But y'all understand what I'm saying?
Hypersensitive. Yeah, there's a hypersensitivity to it. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we got you.
But because we haven't taken the time to normalize, like, I'm not in crisis right now, but I still have to pay attention to my mental health, every aspect of it. So if I don't brush my teeth every day, something's gonna probably go wrong. And then it's a crisis.
I got to jump in on this one because like,
you got a crisis.
If you are talking to me in my face this close and you didn't brush your teeth, we are both in crisis in that moment. And especially if you ain't got no toothpaste, no toothbrush.
Right? Yeah.
But
and think about
But it's like, hold on, but D, I think you on to something. I think so I feel like we want to just explode right now with all the questions.
Yes.
But so you hit something that I think is really important, and you use the term crisis. On our show, we use the word chaos, right? So why do you think it's gotten to that point? And more specifically, when we think about our community, the Black community in particular.
Thank you. Yeah.
I was in a conversation with somebody the other day about us still not going to see therapists or psychologists. Like, what is the psychology of that, or why is that still a stigma that exists in our community?
I to be perfectly honest, I don't know why, but I would agree. I would agree that it is. I think it is just like everything else. So what do I want to say? So like the social construct of the thing, like what we accept becomes what is right. Right? Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean it's right. It's just what we've collectively agreed is right. Yeah. So I think within the Black community in particular, I can't speak about any other community, not any other thing, but within our community historically, and I think even now, up to this point, what we have collectively determined is right and has gotten passed down is you don't be going out in the street telling our business.
That's right.
And so that passes down to, well, if I don't go out in the street and tell our business, then surely I'm not about to go and pay somebody to tell my business. Mama, I think you said don't tell my business. I mean, it's so simple that it's complex.
And and we have a very complicated relationship with the health industry, period.
Agreed. That's a good point.
Very complicated. And me saying complicated is putting it lightly. We have
that's a good point. That's a good point, because again, in so many arenas, we are disenfranchised, or things are not done as they should be. And so that's a good point. I would say I am a proponent of professional therapy. I understand that it's not always feasible. But at the same time, I'm a proponent of it. All therapists aren't great. Every therapist isn't for every person. You kind of got to do the work and but yeah, I guess, Chris, to your point, I think it's just it's a passed down ideology that we have yet to figure, because here's a thought, probably because enough of us haven't started talking about, so back to the make it normal, let me tell you how good it was for me when I went. Why? Because we still on this thing of that somehow, if I'm going to see somebody, that means something's wrong with me in a way that isolates me or something.
But hold up, though. Hold up. Isn't it okay to have something wrong with you and need help?
Yes, because something's wrong with all of us.
Thank you. I waited for that because I'm like, so personally, I have no problem with therapy, psychiatry, anything, right? Me personally. I have a therapist. I go to therapy. Guys, I'm an agent of chaos. You don't think I need to rein the chaos in? Yes, there's going to be places in my life where I'm allowed to just go crazy and let my chaos do what it's supposed to do. And then there's those things where I need to have that wall or that check and balance to be like, no, what do you really need here? Is this the space to do this? Or is this more of the Eric space? This isn't the AOC space. And have that feedback, or at least that sounding board that allows for me to go to people, tell them my truths, and then they come back and objectively go, well, Eric, I know you.
Yes.
I know you, and I know this about you, and I can hold you accountable to these things that I know, and you should be responsible to this accountability and then take new actions.
And the beauty of that is it don't require no money. Get a good village, get somebody and do that. Because when all you have is you and your own thoughts up here, that's a mess for all of us.
Ooh, come on.
That's a mess for, listen. All right.
Yeah.
Maybe y'all don't want me to be it's a mess for me.
Yeah,
I know my mind is a mess.
It's a mess. It's a mess. The things that go on in my mind and how I will spin out of control.
Oh my God.
Like, what are you even talking about?
We were on a road trip, sidebar real quick. Coming back, graduation season, you were speaking about that's a good family friend of ours graduated from college this weekend. And again, I told you I'm in this new entrepreneurial phase, and I have many, like, nobody can see it, right, Kay, because I'm really generally put together, but because my husband is my person, like he's really smart, like he really is. So I told him, we were driving, and I was like, right now I just have a lot of little fires happening, and like I really am spiraling, and I just need to say some things real quick. But it's a thing now, like, and so I guess we just need to feel comfortable to say that to somebody, because I'm quite sure it ain't just me.
No, it's not you. There's so many times where I'm like, okay, I'm losing it. I'm losing it, and I'm spinning out of control right now, and I need you to bring me back to where I need to be. Like, seriously. And so there's a couple of comments I want to say. One, on the whole conversation about why we don't go to therapy. Also, it's been really difficult to find a therapist. Yeah. And let's just talk about it. Like, I was looking for a Black female therapists that did therapy in person, not on Zoom. And
Yes.
across all of Columbus, felt like I could not find any. And then when I did find one or two, the information they were giving me, I wasn't really feeling like it just didn't fit our situation. I'm like, oh my gosh, it felt like it was impossible just to find a therapist that kind of fit the situation. But this leads me to my second question, or second point, I should say. So I know you're an advocate for youth. We got to talk about this mental health about our kids, man. We got to talk about it because I can't tell you how many people I have in. Yes, Mel. See, exactly. Either a year long waiting, and you're like, I need help now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Talking about a year long. But talking about our kids, there's been so many conversations about kids that have like either suicide ideation or they're struggling with self-esteem issues or whatever the thing may be. And it's like our kids are really suffering. So just from the work that you've done, have you seen, I don't know, did COVID play a huge part in it? Was it social media? Was it all of the things? And like, what would you say to parents who are struggling with that or are facing a challenge with that?
All the
So
things.
yes, I was just about to say hashtag all the things. I love it. So to try to say it, to try to make it as concise as possible. So first and foremost, you spoke to COVID. Absolutely, right? So March 13th, whatever, they sent the babies home and they dropped them off. I mean, and so you have this myriad of circumstances that these babies were dropped off in, right? Sometimes school was what was the structure and what was the safe space and and then you've got social media and the internet that so let me say it this way. So when we were growing up, all of us, I feel safe to say with all age groups on this screen, like we had the same things that these kids are dealing with, but we could go home. And there was a safety of home that, okay, I got into this situation at school. We was about to fight. We did fight, whatever the case may be, but I could go home. And there wasn't the continual brewing of the whole world, you know, what to a kid feels like the whole world in every space, so that when you went back to school, it's not done. It's still going. Like, I don't think we really give enough attention to the Pandora's box that we allowed to be open when we let these young babies and I say, you know, so my kids hated it, but they didn't get even smartphones until I don't know, high school. Like, they was walking around with Obama phones in the neighborhood playing, and they was like, Mom, this is embarrassing. And I was like, girl, who cares? So, but I'm just saying, like, all to try to appease one area with the best of intentions, but we don't realize, if we're not aware of these other spaces, what we're ushering them into. So I'm getting off topic. So point is, yes, I think that social media, COVID, these different environments that they can't get out of in the way that I feel like we could get out of it to have some type of reprieve. It's damaging. And when you think about that, so the social media and the internet space and all of that, coupled with a young brain that's not fully developed, that's already impulsive, right? So you can't process these things, because I'm just gonna tell you, like I said, my not young age but not big age, sometimes I can't be on it, like, and that's part of the guardrails of it all for me. Even for social media, I recognize for myself that if I just scroll, right, I might be on there for one particular thing, but now all of a sudden, like we talked about, just the thoughts, like, and I'm scrolling, and now it's tapping into, oh, well, look at, they got that together. Because again, do they, or is it just the part they showed you? You know, all of the things that we know that these kids don't have the framework yet to be able to think it all through And now, they've made this impulsive decision or these thoughts, and they have the ability to be kind of isolated in that world, in whatever world they're
yeah.
It's not right. And you got parents that aren't I'm in my kids' room. This is the best way I know. Like, be in there, get in their business, know what's happening. I don't care how old they are. Be in their business, because how do you know? How do you know what's happening? How do you know whether they need help or not?
Yeah,
how do you
that's true.
have the dialogue?
I agree.
Don't let them tell you, just the catch-all. How's your day? Good.
Well, fine.
Well, who'd you sit with at lunch? Well, talk to me about that. Like, know what's happening so that your fully formed brain can hear if there are red flags.
I agree.
And,
I agree. There's been plenty of times where my kids like, dang, how do you know that? I'm like, what you mean? I looked in your phone. I got it. What are you talking about? I saw your messages. That's how I know. Yeah, and I will continue to do it. But the brewing, you hit it. You hit it right on, because I don't think we talk about that enough. Because when we talk about social media, a lot of times we talk about bullying and this and that, which is very true, but that doesn't always happen. Sometimes it's just, well, did you hear what she said? And did you see what she said? And then she said it never, ever, ever stops. And it gets them into this world, and you have to break them out of that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it is an addiction. It's an addiction for all of us.
Yeah.
It is. Social media, all of these things, they're not bad. But if we don't have the awareness and the appropriate guardrails needed for who we are in these spaces,
okay,
and we gotta we have to teach that to our kids. It's not about to just happen.
Yeah.
E, where you at?
So I'm in heat, in the sun, and I kind of want to just jump in the pool. I'm sorry, I'm on fire.
E, what's the temperature there?
90. Mind your business. It is hot. It is hot as bejeebus. I smell kind of like smoked. Like, you know how like you could smell smoked food. I feel like I have a little sizzle to me, a little sizzle to my bizzle. But I do have a question. That I mean, to that vein, where we talk about the difference of our generation and the new generation, when we talk about how we have now incorporated all of these things that kind of help to keep the brewing and the stewing and the isolations going, these are similars to what we would have called peer pressures, right? Because you remember back in the day, peer pressure was somebody going, I bet you won't, I bet you won't, I bet you won't. And then you could either overcome that to be like, I don't care what you think, and then you keep on moving and do what you do, or you do it because you like, I'm gonna prove this person wrong. To your point about social media, I kind of feel like that peer pressure is like exponentially like multiplied, because all your peers appear on social media. So it's like, if I post that I'm doing XYZ today, all of my peers are looking at that, judging me, weighing against any truths that I've told, any shortcomings that I've had. And it creates a complexity in me seeing myself in a way where I'm constantly wondering how other people view me through this lens. So therefore, I say this to say, like, do you not think that I agree with you, social media itself is not bad. Do you think the usage of social media and the self-validation that people seek from it creates some of the mental health issues that we see in today's society?
Absolutely. And I feel like that's for the babies, the old folks, the young, like, because I think, again, back to original, mental health is just another component of all of us. Like, and if we're not careful about being aware of our psychological space, our social, our emotional space. Absolutely. And so I think we all have like the silent, internal things we're afraid of, insecurities, things that happen in our childhood. Yes, Ryan, that nobody knows, that color how and why we are how we are, the, you know, all the things, right? That when we're scrolling and when we're on social media, and we see it, and now we've clicked on it, because then, you know, the infamous algorithm that, you know, will now it's just this perpetual feeding of the thing that we really didn't mean to do, but because we're on there and because it is an addiction, and now because it's more of it, it's just like this vicious cycle, that again, because it's also an isolated space, we can do. So this is not a group activity. It's what's on it's in our pocket. It's everywhere we go. So many people take it in the bathroom. It's everywhere. And so, and it's we're our own drug dealer, if you think about it. You know what I mean? We're our own drug dealer, like continually giving the thing that's hurting us to us, not realizing that we're caught. It's a trap. It's a trap. And so, like I said, I don't think it's bad. I just think that we have to do a better job. So at my house, and they don't do right, and I don't either. So real talk, let me just, you know, because while my thing may not be scrolling all the time on social media, I'll be on my Google feed. You know, it whatever the thing is, it operates the same way. And so I think we just have to put guardrails up. We have to first know ourselves, right? Like spend some time figuring out, like, how do I feel when I get off of this? Just ask, you know, how do I feel? Like take assessment of your situation for yourself. Be just for a week. How do I feel after I get off social media? Do I feel better? Did I whatever? And then take another week and figure out, based on those answers, you know, okay, so during these times, definitely at the start of my day, I'm not going to be on it. Definitely not at the end of my day, I'm going to be on it, because I think how you start your day and how you end your day, I mean, you know, we just, again, it's a loop. And then just see how you feel, because I think some of this is just habitual. Like, we've made it a habit. Make a new one. Just make a new one. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I don't say that to be flippant, because it is hard, but
that's why it's a habit. Yeah.
But we do hard things all the time, you know, and I want to push on us a little bit on let's just use the concept of hard things, right? So a part of the conversation a little bit earlier, as one of the solutions, and I'm getting a little echo, so I apologize for that. There's the thing that, Johnny, you described it. You said you went looking for a therapist, almost like people look for a spouse. I'm looking for a partner that's got this attribute and this characteristic and this thing, because there's this idea that they will relate to my circumstance, my situation. And I did something different this time. I actually, someone that when I was looking for a new therapist, they asked me the question, what are your preferences? And I said, you know what, where I am in my life right now, maybe I don't need somebody who meets my preferences, because maybe I'm looking for something that's going to validate how I'm thinking, how I'm feeling. No matter how skilled they are, no how professional they are in their job, if I see somebody that looks like me, I'm going in with a bias, with this idea that they're going to understand me, and that might limit my ability to go deep into places that I may or may not want to go, which is what therapy is supposed to do. And I can tell you that this person that I have now would have never been on my list. I wouldn't have selected them, wouldn't have chosen them. You'd have put them in the lineup and I wouldn't have picked them out. And yet the way and the style that they are approaching it is so different than me. It's actually causing me to think differently about what this head and this heart is trying to do. And so, Adia, when people are thinking of, at a deeper level around how they get to the next phase of health in their lives, especially when it's mentally, what are some things you want people to be thinking about? What are some ways that I know you talked about, take a week, take a week, but that was almost in relation to social media. I'm talking about like just generally, like real life stuff. And maybe it's not a week, maybe it's a day or two. Like, what are some recommendations? How can you like motivate this group to be thinking differently around the influences that are causing their mental to not be where it needs to be?
So I think like when you spoke about trying to make sure you're finding the right fit, because I think you're right. Nobody needs a yes man therapist. But sometimes I think we wouldn't even know how to do that because we believe, I have this thing that I talk about in my book for something else, but it relates here. We believe ourselves to be the version that we tell ourselves, not the version that we show up in the world as, right? So how then do we find out who that is, other than to talk to the people in our lives and ask some of those questions of them? Like, you know, what is it easy to talk to me? Maybe just start with something like that. Like, how do I respond when I'm wrong?
That's good.
How do what's is it easy for you to tell me that you're uncomfortable about something that I've done? You know, just some of those types of questions, and then listen to their feedback, or think about like how you view yourself. Like, I'm easy to get along with. Well, ask somebody who's around you. Are you? You know, like, because
really,
I feel like I found out some interesting, although I'm pretty almost to a fault, like self-reflective, which is why it'd be a mess up in there.
me too. Me too.
Trails, but you know, like that's how you find these things out. Like, ask the people. Even in terms of work situations, like if you have people under you at work, I feel like that's a really good one to find out, like if you feel comfortable enough, or if your people, your subordinates are comfortable, because that's a good one. Like, if they don't feel comfortable telling you something, you already know something ain't right. Like, yeah, there you go. Like, so I think just trying to maybe figuring out like, what is it that I think I need help with, or what is it that I think, and then flipping the question, you know, where it can be asked of the people closest to you. Did that answer the question? Did I answer you?
No, yeah, I think you're good. I think, you know, I think one of the things that maybe we can do as a follow-up is maybe provide some additional like questions that you may ask, or some things that you just want to consider. And listen, the good or bad, there is this thing called the internet that does have some like things. If you just type it in, and some of the new AI work that's out there right now, there's tons of different ideas. And what I don't want people to get lost in is that it's a conversation that we're having that, well, nothing I can do about it. No, there is. Like, it's about you owning that there's a story that you may be telling yourself, and you must validate that story is real or not by somebody who can actually say, yes, you are, or no, you're not. And then you got to leave yourself open to hear them say, you are not who you think you are. And then decide that you can change. Now, I hear the people in the background, the medical people in the background be like, but sometimes it's physiological, sometimes it's biological, sometimes it's neurological. I get that. I understand that. I appreciate that. And that's why you exist, Mr. or Mrs. Doctor. But in the absence of doctor, I'm going to call on Jesus, and I'm going to reach out to a good friend of mine who knows me, a family member that can tell me the truth. And then I have a responsibility to change if given the opportunity. I felt my shine on that right there in that moment.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. So it's true. I think at the end of the day, if we could just recognize that all the time, every day, if you woke up today, there is something going on in and around and with your mental health, every aspect of it, and just being aware of that, like, I think is helpful. Almost kind of like so I'm gonna say this again, you know, I'm a believer, and I process life this way. So this is the analogy that I came up with. So in the way that we're aware that God is with us, like I cannot see you, but you are here always. Every aspect, every component of our mental health is operating some way, good, bad, somewhere in between, always. Like just being aware of that so that we can kind of take the temperature, so to speak, and adjust. And sometimes it's all day long. Like sometimes it's recognizing like, oh, socially, I need some boundaries here because I'm stressed. Well, okay, so that's a feeling that's going to that your mental health can be impacted by. So are you stressed because you don't have appropriate boundaries? Or you know what I mean? Like these types of, so that we can, like you said, Chris, I keep wanting to call you Eric. That is crazy. I wonder if Eric is on here right now. Anyway.
Yeah, Eric is on here. I mean, I'm Eric.
The Thompson Eric.
That's hilarious.
Priceless.
I'm like, Eric. Here. He hasn't melted yet.
I love that.
Like y'all been talking mess about me being hot all day, and I'm being called the wrong names. All right. All right, I'm gonna let y'all causing. I got a mental health game we playing just for you because you created this, and Johnny don't like my game, so I know you probably won't either.
No, I might.
She might.
You got a game, E?
Of course, you told me to come prepared.
What's the game? What's the game?
I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna give you a scenario. You're gonna tell me whether that's a healthy mindset or an unhealthy mindset.
This unhealthy. Is fun. Let's go.
Unhealthy.
All right. So. All right, you're at a park. There's a child. Child has ice cream in their hand. Child is really whiny, cranky. They say something mean to your child. You happen to bump into the child and knock the ice cream on the ground. You stare down at the ice cream, look the child in the face, look back down at the ice cream. Is that a healthy mental situation or is it an unhealthy mental situation?
Let me just clarify real quick. Whose whose hand did we knock the ice cream out of? Your kid or the other kid?
Some other kids. It ain't mine.
But the parent's kid or the other kid?
It's the other kids. It's not my kids' ice cream. I'm not wasting my money. I'm wasting someone else's kids' ice cream.
Here's the thing, because I think we find we feel comfortable when we don't feel isolated and alone. So I'm with you. Like it's not healthy. It's not right. It's not a good thing.
But you said you with me. Okay. I just want y'all to see that chaos has a space in here too. Okay.
Yeah, listen, I say all the time, like I'll fight a kid.
Okay. All right. Question 2.
Accidents happen.
Accidents happen. Oh, sorry.
Oh. That's what's up, Ellie.
I heard that. I will fight a kid. Okay. Okay. There's an elderly lady. There's an elderly lady in front of you. She has groceries. She has 10 things in her cart. You have one thing. You know you could fly right by her, get out of the way before she's get in there. Is that a healthy mindset to cut in front of that old lady, get out of your way, why your face do that? That seems like judgment. I thought this was a game. It's supposed to be fair space. Is that a healthy mindset? Because you like, yo, let me get out of this old lady's way, or is it an unhealthy mindset to be like, oh, Biddy, you moving a little too slow? I just need to know.
I'm glad he asking you. I'm ruthless in the grocery store.
Are you?
These are questions for you on your behalf too.
You don't cut Edith off?
Oh yeah, she getting cut off. I don't say excuse. Like I handle mine in the grocery store. I don't play. So I'm glad he asking you.
Bend over and like slow?
I'll be like, I'm like, Grandma. My husband's like, I noticed you don't say excuse me. And I'm like, no, it's every man for himself in here.
So is that a healthy mental state? Or is that an unhealthy mental state?
Okay, so I feel like I'm biased here. So I feel like so full disclaimer, I feel like I'm biased, like, because no, we can't do that to grandma.
Hey, my grandma.
Go to the self-checkout now.
I did. I beat her to the self-checkout. Now what's the problem?
Go to a different one.
I did. I went to one before her. Anyone that I went to before her.
Here we go. Here's what you do.
Okay.
Tell her. Here's what you do. Be like, let me help you real quick, because you could do it real quick. You could.
You mean her 10 things over my one?
You could do it faster than she can.
But I could do my one and be gone, and then she could take all the time she needs. Now
maybe here's the happy medium. Can you be like, Grandma, do you mind if I
go first?
Yeah, maybe that's
what. Okay. All right. So she's telling this is unhealthy, Johnny, just so you know.
I kind of think so.
Okay.
I gotta do me.
Okay. All right.
Y'all right out here with the old people.
All right. So third question. A wife and a husband do a late night run to let's just say Wendy's or something, right? And they get like dessert, right? Let's say they get 2 cookies, okay? The husband gets a cookie, the wife gets a cookie. The wife eats the cookie the night before. The husband goes, I'll eat my cookie later. He wakes up the next day, cookie's gone. The wife ate it.
Oh, no.
Is her perspective of, well, if you wanted the cookie, you would have ate it anyway, and it wouldn't have left it, a healthy mindset or an unhealthy mindset?
You're causing trouble now.
It's very realistic, but it is not right. You know, because it ain't right. Because that door gonna swing back, and then you mad like because now you done set a precedent.
Ooh, the door is swinging back though.
Back.
What it is. That's what it is.
I live in that space because I stay eating his food. I don't like that door swinging back, so I can't vouch for that because he's quick to be like, oh, you don't like that? You don't like that? I'll be like,
we lift up Brother Holmes in prayer right now.
Okay, so
don't get none of his text.
So I just want to make sure I identify that you have admitted that you do this unhealthy mental behavior to your husband.
Did y'all not hear me say what could be
happening? Yeah, you with me. Yeah, you with me. I heard that part. So
yeah, that's what my brother says. My brother says, well, you left it unattended. So.
Wait. So again, the scenario was the husband and wife went to a place together, bought desserts together for each other. She knew
for each.
She knew that was his cookie.
Yes, she did.
She ate her cookie, woke up the next day, ate his cookie, and said, hey,
you left it unattended.
You left it unattended. Okay. I just want to keep in mind that every dollar we got in the bank account sometimes is left unattended when you ain't looking at it when I'm looking at it. So should I just take that too?
I'm reminded of the song that what's yours is mine.
It's all terrible. It's all
my house.
It's all unhealthy.
I try. Yeah, I think ultimately that's where we at.
Yeah, it's all unhealthy.
Triggered. Now mental health. Yeah, I'm triggered.
Which brings us back to then we all need help. Let's just normalize it.
Let's just normalize it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you take
we're joking, but for real.
Yeah, but I'm joking, but I'm not joking. Every scenario I've told is something I've lived through. I did knock that child's ice cream out of his hand and stare at him and looked at his parent and looked back. And then I realized they couldn't beat me. So I just laughed and walked away. Me and my kid enjoyed our ice cream. And I asked her to eat my cookie. And it was okay. And she said the same thing. She said, you left it unattended. I said, cool. And then you know what I went and did? I went and bought me a whole bunch of cookies that I locked up and never left unattended. And I never shared them either. So, I mean, again, like you said, the door swing both ways, don't it? So when it swung back, I had 20 cookies. You only had 2.
Adia, this is why we continue to talk about Eric's relationship status.
Hey, these is past stories. These are stories way in the past.
You know, we're all trying to get, like we're trying.
Now, look, don't listen to him. I didn't ask for relationship counseling with him and Mel, and they like, yeah, we don't take crazy. So I'm okay with it. I'm gonna work my stuff out. I'm gonna invite all y'all to my stuff, whatever I figure out. I'm telling you, I'm marrying a unicorn. She stuffed. I purchased it. It's wonderful. She's 6'2".
That's why we can't take you nowhere. This is
Why?
I take myself places because I know nobody takes me nowhere.
That's exactly right. Oh, this has been fantastic.
No.
Dear, you are just a gift to this show, and so thankful for you coming and sharing your perspective. Even we'll pass it to you as you transition us in the show.
Thank you so much. I best guest we've had in season 2. Shout out to Mel for saying that the intro wasn't the same. She totally got you. I love it. She totally got you. Just so you know, burn, big burn. Guys, what a wonderful conversation. We would be remiss if we didn't ask the traditional question of we've heard from everybody, but when it comes to mental health, I guarantee there's something that grandma would have to say. So CT, I'm gonna come to you and I want to hear what would grandma have to say about mental health.
Grandma is grateful that Adia made her way to tonight's episode, and in the spirit of time and season 2, Grandma would say, "Come here, baby." And when we start thinking about mental health, Grandma might say, "You know what? I think I want you all to think about what it means to be healthy." And when you start thinking about what it means to not just have good health, but how to be healthy, she would introduce the H by saying, did you hear what I heard? And did you hear that correctly? What did I hear, Grandma? The message that's in your head. And if the message that's in your head is wrong, you need to change the message in your head. Did you hear what I hear? No, I didn't, because it's in my head. And if you are not having the right conversation in your head, can't nobody hear it. And if can't nobody hear it, then you might be in an echo chamber that's causing you not to be healthy. And so Grandma says the only way that the H can be a place where you're hearing the right thing is if you have the E right. There is this African beat that's out right now with a song. It says, good energy. I don't need no negativity around me. High frequency. That's the E. You've got to have good energy, Grandma would say, if you want to be healthy. And if you have good energy, then you can hear what I hear. And it becomes important that that energy comes from what Johnny One might say, an attitude of gratitude. An attitude of gratitude is a practice that we regularly express appreciation for all of the things that we have in our life, big, small, up, down, right, wrong, good, bad. We are in this existence to help other people feel more fulfilled. And when you have that attitude of gratitude, that means there's good energy coming from you because you can hear what I hear. Now, here's the trick. When you are HEA, there is an L. You've got to have the L right. And Johnny, you've got to either do one of two things. One, loving you is easy because you're beautiful. Or you're going to lose yourself in the music, in the moment. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to grow, because opportunity comes once in a lifetime. If you're going to be healthy, you've got to love yourself, or you're going to potentially lose yourself. Can I get an amen in the church? Now, as you're going through this idea that there's an HEALT, the T, we've mentioned it briefly. There is a difference between gratitude and the T, which is being thankful. Thankful is a feeling. Thankful is a thing that you show up with every day. I'm thankful for, as the song say, for the things that you have done. I'm thankful for the victories we have won. I could go on and on and on about your word because I'm grateful. And in this grandma section, I'm thankful just to praise you, Lord. Flowing from my heart are the issues of my heart. It's not just gratefulness, but it's thankfulness in this pod, because you remembered to love yourself so you didn't lose yourself, because you had that attitude of gratitude, because there was some good energy, because the story that you was telling, you heard it right. And last, but certainly not least, because the H, right? Actually, H isn't last, because I got to get to the Y too. The H would suggest that there is this thing, Johnny, that I used to hear when I was growing up, that it was situational. And no matter what the situation was, I still needed to make sure that I was happy. Pharrell said, "Because I'm happy, come along if you feel like." I got music all in this one today, y'all. But you've got to remember that a healthy life comes with a happy life, and that healthy life is happy when you are thankful. And you're thankful because you're loving yourself, not losing yourself, because you have an attitude of gratitude, because that good energy coming from you has the right story being told in your ear. And last but certainly not least, you have to do the why well. If you want to be healthy, you have to choose you. Why? Oh, you. If you don't choose you, if you always choosing everybody else, then you're not going to be satisfied and fulfilled. And then that means you're not happy. And if you're not happy, that means you can't be thankful. You're thankful. That means you're not loving yourself. And then you're going to lose yourself. So the attitude of gratitude isn't what it needs to be, because the energy is low, and the energy is low because you got the wrong story going in your head. So grandma would say, you need to hear what it is that you're saying so you can be healthy. You have to have good energy, so that when you get into that attitude of gratitude, loving yourself, not losing yourself, being thankful and happy for the life that you have, you too can be okay. Thank you, Grandma. Thank you.
Thank you, Grandma. Bringing all of the, she got that. Oh, Grandma just brings that. Okay, because listen, healthy, Grandma is super healthy, and she healthy with them words. So when we play this back, just know, like, she said double H. Grandma was not playing. You better hear what you're talking about, and you better be healthy, boy. And you. Like, she ended it with you. Like, you gotta know. That's how my grandma is talking. She be like, you. Me, Grandma? Me? I just said you. You like, it's only me and you in the room, Grandma. So you ain't got to say you. I mean, but I mean, I love it. Grandma always comes through and has the wonderful things. And get out of the window, Johnny. I just got to know, Johnny, what you got?
The sound effect. The sound effect is back. I think we missed the sound effect last week, did we? I think we might.
Nah. He put it in.
Okay. Y'all, this was such a good episode. I really enjoyed this so much. Dia, thank you so much for joining us in this conversation. I had so many more questions, and we just couldn't keep going all night long. So this is great. When it comes to mental health, though, and we all talked about, like, don't be afraid to get help. Get the help you need. So we paint this picture of, like, you laying on the couch and talking to a therapist. You know, there's so many different types of therapy that you can get. You know, there's behavioral therapy where you could just go to, like, a group therapy where it's maybe you are sharing, maybe you're not, maybe they're just giving you strategies. Maybe it's one-on-one. It could be virtual. It could be in person. But like Adia said, we all have some things that would be really helpful for us to work through and work out so that we can show up better in the world. So I just encourage us, as we were talking about the internet, it can be a good thing. Like CT was saying, you can just Google and type in some words and you can find out what you need. But you just never know. If you're struggling in relationships or with yourself personally, maybe therapy is the way for you. And there's so many different options out there that you can get help. So just don't be afraid to do it, especially in our community. There's such a stigma against it. Yeah. So don't be afraid to talk to someone and share what you're going through. So maybe you get a healthy perspective. I have a couple friends right now that's been in therapy for the last few years. And man, I can see the difference. Yeah. The way they communicate, the way they show up with their friends, their spouses, their understanding. I had a friend the other day says, Johnny, I can see that I am triggering you right now. So I'm going to walk away. I'm like, yes, you are. You're doing too much right now. That's triggering me. But it was such a healthy exchange between the two of us because we're both doing the work. So don't shy away from it. Go ahead and do it. And you can continue to find one until you find one that works for you.
It's good, Johnny.
Yeah.
It's good, Johnny.
Yeah. That is good. Oh, look at Johnny. You got gems. I mean,
thank you.
I didn't think you was gonna lay it out like that, but that was perfect. Go get the help. There's multiple types of help. You know, find the help that fits you, and that works. Yeah. Okay. All right. So your message from your AOC is gonna be the opposite of what everybody else tells you to do. I'm gonna say sometimes the help you need.
Oh, this is gonna be good, I think.
Sometimes the help you need is to release the things that you think that you're supposed to be responsible for. Oh. One of the reasons why I'm a very happy person, like Grandma said, be happy, is because I don't take the weight of everybody else's things. I just don't. Your problem may be your problem. I may be able to help you, but that doesn't mean I have to now carry the weight of your problem. So I do think that while therapy is very important, and I do think talking to people is very important, I think one of the most important things for everybody is to realize where you're really responsible and accountable first, so that you don't take on a bunch of stuff that now you got to go to therapy for that really wasn't yours to begin with. So at the end of the day, if it's not yours, flush it. Here we go. All right.
From your AOC. Let's go.
Yeah, flush it.
Let's
Flush it.
go.
Flush it.
I wish I had a flush sound. But Cam won't let me use my sound. So,
No, not right now. We'll work our way back up to being able to use free sounds, because I still want to press my button on my board because I haven't heard the Little John what in like months.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's what I'm saying. I got all the natural sounds out here in the sun, but I ain't got no actual sounds on my board. But
proud of you.
All right,
proud of you, man. Huh? You made it through. You made it through the show, E. I'm proud of you.
I know. Listen, on everything. Like at one point, I was about to like turn the camera off. I was gonna be out here in like a bathing suit. Like, guys, I'm sorry, it's too hot. I'm sweating. Right. I literally got cooked over there. I've lost 5 pounds, and I've gained 4 more levels of melanin just being out here. So we're cooking, literally. But I do want to get the final thoughts. And of course, I want to come first to you, Johnny Mylees, to get your final thoughts. And then CT, I'm going to come to you. And then I'm going to give our special guest the ability to sign us off with her final thoughts. Because I don't have any final thoughts. I told you everything. Flush it. All right. So Johnny Mylees.
Flush it. I like that. Flush it. Again, I just said that this was a great episode. I just loved it. There's so many things I still want to talk about. So maybe we have to have you back so we can talk about this book, especially after I read this book. I want to dig into it. So thank you so much for offering such a great perspective and having an open dialogue about something that is so needed. It's so needed. And so just thank you. Yeah.
Part 2.
Yes.
All right, CT.
I love you, cousin. I'm proud of you, cousin. You've always been that human, like in the way that your brain works and your level of care, and even just how you maneuver through life. Even though I don't get to see you all the time, I pay attention to you. And I know it can't be easy living with Ryan, but I do know that the two of you all together are truly the dynamic duo. So thank you for gifting us with your voice through this pod. For all of our easy motivationers, I got a video that I want to leave y'all with that hopefully pivots, changes, and adjusts your mental today. Cam, play the video for me.
I'm better to be in ourselves.
Today's gonna be an amazing
day. Today's gonna be an amazing day.
Feelings matter.
My feelings matter. Today's gonna be an amazing day. Be strong. Be great. It's okay to make a mistake. Be happy. Be glad. Don't let nothing make you sad. Be nice. Be kind. Tell you have a wonderful mind. Be positive. Be happy. Be positive. Be happy. Be positive. Be happy.
Be positive, be happy.
Be happy.
Be positive, be happy. Be positive, be happy. That's my final thoughts.
That's good. That's good.
That was amazing. We're gonna need that. Be positive, be happy. Hey, Cam, go ahead and hashtag that. Hashtag positive happy. All right. Oh wow, what a wonderful episode. So thank you so much for coming on and speaking with us today. Now I'm gonna just flat out and ask you, will you come back?
Of course.
All right. Now, when we have you come back, we're probably gonna try to push you a little bit more out of your comfort zone. Now that you've come and you've done the regular thing, we'll introduce you more to the chaos. I only gave you a little spread of chaos at the end, only because you're family. But what final thoughts would you like to leave the Easy Monday Motivationers with?
I would say your thoughts you hear first. So make sure that you're taking care, you're normalizing the fact that every aspect of your mental health, the psychological, the social, the emotional, is in alignment. And you'll know that by what you're hearing first in your thoughts. Not to be flippant with it, to be very intentional about thinking about what you're thinking about so that the behaviors that come next as a result of the thoughts that you heard first are ones that you want to show up in the world. That's what I would say.
That's good.
Beautiful. Okay, so I don't have any final thoughts because I don't want to have to come behind that. That was not fair. I just want you to know.
Yeah, because that was good.
It's like, what?
Like, yeah, never mind.
I just buy. Everybody buy. Say no. No, but I want you to plug your book. Tell everybody where they can find you, where they can locate you, where they can, see you.
All right. Why don't you see what I see? Breaking the Cycle of Systemic Racism. You can find this book on Amazon. Google it on Amazon. You can go to www.pivot, PIVOT, projects.info, and you can get all the things about the stuff that I'm doing. You can also register if you're interested, or if you feel like your company, business, corporation, whatever might benefit. And you can read about it. I know we're running out of time, but under the workshops tab there, maybe one of these days you can follow me on social media. We'll see. If you have me back, we'll talk about it.
Oh, if you happen to want to follow her, it's Adia_Nicole on IG.
Yeah. We're going to plug the book in the description. Yep. Link will be in the description. This way you can find all the information. Thank you, Dia, so much for being with us today. Thank you, CT. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Easy Monday Motivation crew. You guys make it so wonderful. Shout out to the Easy Monday Motivationers out there that show up every single Monday, dedicated to the cause, show up, comment, show love, share their ideas with everyone. You guys are the best. So you already know what time it is. Thank you all. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, iTunes. Make sure that you're hitting the 5 stars. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, following, so that way we can build the following. I know that we're at like 70 something plus people. We have over almost 40 episodes now, guys. Like, we've been really pumping these out. And as we round out season 2 and prepare season 3 for you, we're going to go into strategy mode. Y'all don't even want to know how big and bad season 3 is coming back. I'm talking about Jiggy Woogie. But again, you know where we are. You can find us. Listen to us in your car. If you're listening, if you're watching, don't ever stop, because we here for you. And I'm going to leave you guys with the same old sign. Get out of the window. You can share until the next episode. Peace, everybody. Have a good night.
Peace.
Hey. Be positive. Be happy.
Hey. Be positive. Be happy. Hey.